Hi, my name is DeGard, and I am presenting Higher, Greater Power, Universal Intelligence, and Overarching Figure. Do you believe? It's a hard question. My website, DeGard.org, for all paintings and my contacts. So, I want to be able to crack the problem of speaking with an atheist. That tricky conversation, do you believe in God? Yes, no. This conversation, I believe, is the fundamental problem between consciousness researchers like ourselves here at this conference and materialist atheist scientists. In the surveys that I have conducted, it's clear to me that people's religious positions are riddled with inconsistencies. A lot of people who declare themselves non-believers of supernatural forces will also absolutely believe in karma and lucky charms. So let's try and unravel some of these inconsistencies from an artistic and a philosophical position. What is an atheist scientific position? The dictionary definition of atheism, in its broadest sense, is the absence of belief in the existence of deities. So what is a deity? A deity is a higher, greater power whose universal intelligence penetrates the hearts and minds of all creatures. Biblical definition is an overarching figure. So let's talk about higher power. Let's firstly question that notion. Higher than what? I'm making an assumption here that it's the self, even humanity, if you like. Is there or isn't there a higher power? Well, of course there is. The internet, we've made a higher power than the self. Perhaps not humanity, but definitely than the self. Traffic systems, higher than any individual. Governments. Science's laws of physics. Can't argue, well you can, but Gaia, the earth, space, the universe. Certainly higher, bigger, stronger, more powerful. We can also we could do an overarching title and say energies with higher power than the self. So let's consider the notion of universal intelligence. I've long said, and no one ever disagrees, that the human body is so intelligent to operate as it does. The sequence of bases along DNA's backbone, for example, encoding biological information such as the instructions for making a protein or RNA molecules in us, in animals. Even by the atheist science standards, there's a level of intelligence in the body that we are literally just beginning to comprehend. The way even billions of human bodies interact on a chemical, cellular level, trillions of bacteria all interweaving, coordinating, cooperating, flowing, organized, communicating on Earth, in space. It's incredibly intelligent. I call this intelligence consciousness. And this level of intelligence has to be aware of itself. Why? In order to coordinate this vigilantly. An electron, protons, neutrons, flying up into space, flying back, every electron changing as every other one. Oh my goodness, wow. I can barely even empty a dishwasher. The fact that we do not understand this level of intelligence is part of our sciences, all of us, humanity's future research. That's an exciting position to take. I have powerfully argued, I believe, that there exists the combination of a higher power and an intelligent world universe. And now to the overarching figure, that power. The figure is also supposed to be higher and greater power, and also universally intelligent and conscious. The issue, therefore, is one of figure, an imaginative figuration in the mind, a person, the personification of these powers. The figure or God can be turned into a fascist dictator, can be twisted by the human mind, and so can these higher powers that we apparently have, connections to and can use. So let's just get rid of the imaginative position of the figure. Let's get rid of it. Gone. Back to our atheist materialist scientist. He or she would then agree that there are universal intelligences portraying a type of awareness beyond our understanding of what is conscious. So maybe the atheist materialist scientist is still nervous in this figure, might come and hex them in their sleep. I think that's significant, to be honest. But in my art, I do not personify the greater powers, the conscious intelligences. But what do we call the energies now? I call them aura. And when the aura is seen in and around a person, we can see how it manifests. This intelligent energy which bathes the individual in colour, form, shape and light. I've questioned how this can be, and I've gone back to what we know are the building blocks of our world, the atom element. Aura. And how has the scientist portrayed this immensity of consciousness, intelligence and powers? Circles, circles, more circles, and within this, different shapes of it, but roughly speaking, that's how it goes. The scientific diagram of the atom is just a little set of circles with electrons roaming around it. Of course, there's a little bit more to it, but essentially the atom is still considered to be empty. There's a discovery about dark matter, but it's very much ongoing. There's very little understood about it and our relationship to it. But when I paint the atom, it is filled with power, intelligence, conscious energy, aura. And this is the aura of a calcium atom. Immense, huge, beautiful, as is our Earth. And here is the aura of a carbon atom. You can see the electrons still going round. It's something we've discovered as human beings. I'm not going to ignore it. And here we have the aura of a hydrogen atom, and we know that we can pierce this and use some of this, and it explodes into more energy. Incredible. Just one, I think. And bringing all of those energies together, the hydrogen atom, the oxygen atom, all of the silica and all different elements together, the gases, into the periodic table and its huge energetic presence. And of course, this is just a painting. This is my channeled interpretation, which is modest by comparison to the actual event of it. So, having seen the building blocks of our chemical universe as we know it, and now with its aura, so you have the chemical universe, scientific agreement, aura. Within it, it's higher power. It's the power of it, the intelligence, the consciousness, agreed. How does this translate into the human person? This is the aura of a person that we call ourselves. It's in, around, like a weather vane, and through the human being. We're constituted of it. The aura that I see shows itself as conscious, coloured, shaped information known as thought forms, and this was first described by Annie Besant and Charles Leadbetter, and they describe some of these forms often in a quite a moralistic way, which I have also stripped out. But I'm looking to try and understand some of these forms within the aura, try and understand the colours and shapes. This shape in particular, above the conical shape above Elvis's head, is, I've seen a lot in singers, which is really extraordinary. Even there's a painting by Hildegard of Bingen, and she has this shape above her head, and we know that she was one of the first ever to lay down music into form that you could reproduce. And here we have a redness coming out of the microphone hand of Elvis. And these red shards indicate pain, anger, and we know his story of drug abuse, being forced into a world that he didn't want to be living in. And that is present in his aura at this moment. I've done another painting of him in earlier days, which shows a very different aura. So that's really fascinating. So finally, to conclude, higher, greater power, universal intelligence, and overarching figure. Do you believe? The hard question. So let's assume that we've showed this presentation to an atheist scientist, and then we've said, well, do you believe? And I think we can all agree as researchers that there's a powerful, energetic, intelligent consciousness. Now let's research it all together. Let's research with this notion of an abundant aura, and let's do it together. Thank you very much.